I think fashion has two primary impulses. On the one hand, it reflects its present. On the other, it projects a future. When you look at the massive collection that the Fashion Museum Bath has accumulated over the past 6 decades of historic and contemporary looks, you can see those impulses at work. There's so much psychology, there's so much sociology, there's so much anthropology in that collection. And I think it all comes into focus with the dress of the year. And there are now 516 objects from 191 designers. And the significance of that, it's not just the breadth of it all. The cumulative force of something like the dress of the year tells an absolutely invaluable story about fashion. You just don't find that kind of thing anywhere else. I think that's why Fashion Museum Bath is one of the world's great fashion institutions. I was lucky enough to be chosen to select this year's dress of the year, 2 looks, a man and a woman. But before that, we're going to just cast our eyes back over the last 6 decades and the story of the Fashion Museum Bath.
This incredible piece by Mary Quant was chosen by the Fashion Writers Association as our first Dress of the Year piece. Mary Quant is one of the most incredible British fashion designers, very much associated with the swinging 60s. Hemlines are getting shorter and fashion is really appealing to a youth culture, and she's really leading the way with that. So this look in particular is called the Rex Harrison. That's actually the cardigan itself. And here she's really playing with masculine tropes in fashion. It speaks to that collaborative element of fashion, which Dress of the Year is really emblematic of. It's about all the people that they worked with, the photographers, the designers, and that ecosystem of fashion.
Bruce Oldfield was very well known for his sculpted silhouettes with luxurious choice of fabrics, and this really helped personify the decade of the 1980s with its glamour, with its aspiration. Although it is ritzy and glitzy, it's never over the top. Bruce's trademark was this understated sex appeal, and that found favour with celebrity clients including Diana, Princess of Wales, and Joan Collins. Although we're very, very lucky to have several Bruce Oldfield pieces in the collection, this was the very first Bruce Oldfield dress that we added to the Fashion Museum Bath collection, so it's very special.
Ralph Lauren started doing menswear, in particular ties, but by 1972 had branched out into women's wear. It's obviously a very menswear approach to women's wear. So you've got the classic 2-piece suit, which is pinstriped. For the campaign for the collection, looks were also shown photographed without the shirt and the tie, which was meant to appeal to buyers who might want a slightly softer approach to the masculine elements of the collection.
This Vivienne Westwood design beautifully combines her love of historicism and her punk and rebellious style that's so often seen in her designs. It's a beautiful deconstruction of post-war couture, but with the unfinished edges, it's got that hint of subversion and sex appeal that lay at the heart of her designs. I remember Stephen coming to Bath to look at the Dress of the Year collection, and he was amazed that we didn't have a Vivienne Westwood design represented in Dress of the Year already. He felt that it was his responsibility to address this with his selection, and we're very pleased that he did.
The 2 looks that I've chosen for Dress of the Year, a man's look and a woman's look. Both of them embody the notion, I think, of making the ordinary extraordinary, celebrating real life as a response to fashion's grandiosity, fashion's inaccessibility. The man's look was worn by Paul Mescal at the Gucci show for Spring/Summer 2025. A banker's blue shirt, untucked, white socks and Gucci horsebit loafers, and key part of the look was a pair of very short shorts. He had been wearing this look for a long time, and Gucci had taken him on as an ambassador and took on his style. The reason why I chose the look is because it felt to me that it was speaking to a moment. Mescal came along with actors like Josh O'Connor, Timothée Chalamet, all of them antidotes to toxic masculinity. And I think this maybe was fashion making a subtle comment on that. The women's look I've chosen is the first look from Jun Takahashi's Autumn-Winter 2024 collection, which was shown in Paris in March 2024. The theme of the show was watching a working woman. after a poem that filmmaker Wim Wenders had written for Takahashi to soundtrack the show. His working woman was a lawyer, she had a little boy, and the show detailed her life. It was so intense, it was so moving. I felt that this look embodied all of that. It looked like the most humble look, a tank top and jeans, but it was fully integrated as one piece, so it was technically incredibly sophisticated. It really was making the ordinary extraordinary, and that was why I felt it had something to say to fashion. It really, really moved me, and that's why I chose these looks for the Fashion Museum. I'm really looking forward to seeing how these two outfits slot in to the rest of the Dress of the Year looks from the last 6 decades. And as soon as the museum opens again in its new premises, I hope that you go looking.